Happy new moon in Taurus today. Hi, this is Dee at Aloha Astro. Today we're looking at the new moon in Taurus, May 11th, 2021. New moon in Taurus, Tuesday, May 11th, increases your desire to have more or be more, as the moon conjunct the sun in a sensual and materially minded earth sign forms a manifesting trine aspect to willful and determined Pluto in Capricorn, while a sextile aspect between the moon and inspirational Neptune in anything is possible Pisces gives you the vision and the faith to improve yourself or your circumstances. Taurus rules the second house of personal finances, personal values, and self-worth in the zodiac wheel. So no matter what house this new moon activates in your own natal chart, expect money or values to come into play. Action-oriented Mars in nurturing and protective Cancer, sextile to Uranus in Taurus, could motivate you to increase your income if you have or want a home or family. Taurus is a Venus-ruled sign that enjoys peace, beauty, comfort, and the good things in life, but it can also become too complacent and stagnant. Fortunately, there are other motivating planetary transits and aspects that encourage growth and change, and offer other options to stimulate curiosity and further growth. Venus and Mercury in social and communicative Gemini, bracketing the destiny-determining North Node in Gemini, forming a sextile to self-aware Chiron in Aries and a trine to disciplined Saturn in future-minded Aquarius, can help you choose a new direction or make new connections that will fend off boredom and move you to a new level through an awareness and integration of the emotional, spiritual, mental, and physical planes of life. Let's take a look over at planetwatcher.com where we can see what's going on up in the sky. And there we see the conjunction of moon and sun. We can also see that we have a lot of Gemini energy going on right now that's interacting with Aquarius and Aries energy. So we have these it feels like we have two different things going on, kind of like an undertone and then a top note, and the air and fire is definitely propelling things forward, and it's all very self-determined because it points toward Aries, and what you determine that you need to do for your own health and happiness and peace of mind is very much what you should be choosing to do under this current new moon. And new moons usually point toward new beginnings or a fresh start. We do have a very sensual, materially level, and security-minded new moon going on. And this aspect it's making to Neptune brings in that opportunity for peace or healing or some flow and abundance, the opportunity to use imagination or to image things as you would believe them to be or want them to be, to keep the faith, to continue believing that things will get better. And then we have very strong manifesting trine between Pluto in Capricorn, and this is very determined placement. Pluto in Capricorn holds on to that goal or that prize and continues to climb and keeps you on track as you're moving ahead. The energy going on between Mars and Saturn, whenever Mars and Saturn interact, you get this sense of action, fire, physicality, and then you have another very physical, reality-based planet, Saturn, and that is all about doing, that you can't just sit and hope and wish and pray, but that you have to do things. You have to move forward. You have to make a choice. You have to deal with what's in front of you. We've got Jupiter. It may feel a little bit like Mercury is already retrograde, and a lot of people are mentioning that, and even though it does not retrograde until the end of the month, we do have a square going on between Mercury and Jupiter. It's beginning to fall apart, but it's still there, it's still being felt, and many people had surprises, unexpected things happen this past week, changes in plans, and over the last 10 days, actually, that was due to that square. between Mercury in Gemini and Jupiter in Aquarius. And that final degree of Aquarius, Jupiter's going to be leaving Aquarius very soon. Let's see, when does it leave? In 2.3 days, it enters Pisces, but it's going to be retrograding and will not hang out there very long. We're just getting a taste of what that Jupiter and Pisces energy might do for us. It isn't until the beginning of 2022 that it goes in there permanently and doesn't retrograde back into Aquarius, but it will be going into, okay, 2 days from now, we have it entering Pisces, and then it goes retrograde in June on the 20th. And then it goes back into Aquarius again at the end of July, July 29th. And it comes out of retrograde in October, October the 11th. So the summertime sees it retrograding back into Aquarius. Make the most of it moving into Pisces in the very near future, because it can bring some abundance and positive growth and a gentler way of looking at things and dealing with things, greater peace internally particularly. And in Aquarius is a little more electrically charged and a little more disruptive. Even if it does bring growth, it's going to come through change and the opportunity to integrate things and to be at peace with things, and to have a little more control over manifesting will be coming while it's moving into Pisces. So make good use of it before it slips back into Aquarius, which I believe was at the end of July. Overall, I like the combination of energies that we have going on right now. We definitely have more support than we have challenge. Saturn's just been a bugger for a while, and that's what we have to deal with, because the transit of both Saturn and Uranus are keeping this square in place, and it has been, and it will continue for a while. Changes are not always easy, and there's some real persistence in wanting to hold on to the way things are. There can also be fear about things like limitation or not having enough or being enough. But inevitably, the changes that we're going through are making us stronger, and nothing ever stands still for very long. There's always going to be movement toward the future. As society as a whole is being very affected by this, and hopefully society becomes more society-minded, and government, as we have Saturn moving through Aquarius, is more for the people and by the people in the future, as we are going through Saturn moving through Aquarius and really forgetting about the Capricorn energy. There's still some lingering desire for that power and control and the old school way of doing things. Those in power still have a lot of power, basically. But Saturn and Jupiter moving through Aquarius have both put more attention upon what's needing to be fixed and improved upon in the structure of society. Let's take a look at the Sabian symbol for the day, or for the moon. And this is Dane Rudyard's interpretation, and it's a little bit on the religious or Christian side. I know if you Google Sabian symbols, you'll find other people's interpretations of this particular symbol that might not have such strong Christian overtones. But I'm going to stick with Dane because I like Dane Rudyard. White dove flying over troubled waters. the spiritual inspiration that comes to the individual in the overcoming of crisis. Here also we are confronted with a symbol of guidance, and the dove flying over troubled waters reminds one of the story of Noah and the ark. Noah met his and mankind's crisis courageously and in complete obedience to God's promptings. The test completed, he received the dove's message. It is a message from the Holy Spirit announcing a new dispensation. The symbolic scene can be applied to personal crises resulting from emotional upheavals or from the eruption of unconscious forces and impulses into the consciousness, if the crisis has been faced in the right spirit. This second stage symbol is in contrast to the preceding one because here it is not the product of a culture, a book, but instead the rhythm of cosmic God-ordained cycles that reveals its conclusive beat through a living and concretely significant sign, a reward to the faithful. I often think of manifesting and how in the story of Noah, and the dove returns with an olive branch in its beak, and that is the sign that land is close, or there is land. And I often think of a dove as representing that your manifestation is about to be coming into being, and that you have to simply keep the faith and hold out a little while longer. So that's my interpretation of a dove, and other people have other meanings associated with a white dove, particularly peace. And if you look at just the basic words here, white dove flying over troubled waters would indicate that there's a higher way of dealing with crisis. I also think of the white light as being, it's all the colors within that white, and the singleness, the purity of keeping your thoughts high, keeping your eye on the prize, and not getting pulled down into the challenges and the troubled waters, the turbulence, rise up above the turbulence. We definitely have the ability to do that while we have this air, right here, the air and the fire, to be able to lift your mind through the determination that you can think negatively or you can think positively. Gemini always offers more than one option. And Saturn, the discipline, the determination to think in a different way, to look toward the future, and it rests upon you. Aries says, I am. So you determine how you perceive things now, and ultimately how you think will affect the world around you and how you experience life and the things that you manifest. And while we have some potent manifesting ability with this new moon and sun being supported by Neptune and being supported by Pluto, there's all the reason in the world why things can improve for you, or why you should be able to manifest whatever you are placing your attention upon. So do spend some time with the new moon in going within. It's always a good time for meditation and spending time in quiet or being alone to examine yourself and your feelings and beliefs, and be in the silence, be in the darkness until that crescent moon reappears and we move forward and can begin to see what our new path looks like. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you again in 2 weeks when we look at a full moon coming up ahead.